what do we do regarding when trials and tribulations enters in our house from the angle of family members? For example, family members may cause the splitting between husband and wife because of certain issues that the husband and wife may take and family may not agree with it, and as such tests are entered the house and it causes a bit of problem. هذا السؤال نعطيها للشيخ عبد الله، شو رايك ان شاء الله؟ نبدأ من اليمين ان شاء الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبيه الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين، أما بعد، فأقول أولا إجابة على سؤال أختي الكريمة، إن التفريق بين الزوجين من أعظم مقاصد الشيطان، يعني من أعظم أهدافه، كما قال تعالى: ويتعلمون منهما ما يفرقون به بين المرء وزوجه. وجاء في الحديث أن الشيطان إبليس يرسل أبناءه وأتباعه ثم يعودون، فمن كان منهم قد فرق بين الرجل وزوجته قربه أكثر من غيره فرحا بصنيعه. نعم.
Firstly, I answer my respected noble sister that being a cause for the breakage of the relationship between the husband and the wife, this is from the greatest objectives of the shaitan. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran. He mentioned the meaning of which is, and they learn from him how to cause discord between a man and his wife. And also in the hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioned how shaitan sends his offspring and his followers, and then the offspring and the followers of shaitan, when they return, he asks them, who amongst you caused problems and discord between married couples? And whoever did so, then he is brought close to the shaitan. This is out of his pleasure for that which they have done.
وقد يستخدم الشيطان بعض الناس في تحقيق هذا الهدف السيء، وقد يكون من هؤلاء الناس بعض المقربين من الزوجين.
And shaitan may utilize certain people in order to further this evil agenda. And sometimes the people that he utilizes may be from the relatives of the wife or one of the spouses.
ولا شك أن أهل الزوج وأهل الزوجة لهم تأثير كبير في استقامة الحياة الزوجية لأبنائهم، ولذلك أمر الله عز وجل بتحكيم حكمين من أهله ومن أهلها عند خشية الشقاق والفراق. نعم.
And no doubt the family of both the husband and the wife, no doubt they can have a great influence and a great impact in making the relationship stable. The relation between the husband and the wife, keeping it stable, providing stability. And this is why Allah subhanahu, He orders in the Quran for a representative to be sent from the husband's family and a representative to be sent from the wife's family if there is a fear of discord or problems between the husband and the wife.
ولا يجوز لأهل الزوج ولا لأهل الزوجة أن يتدخلوا في حياتهم الخاصة إلا إذا كان بقصد الإصلاح.
And it is not permitted for the family of the husband or the family of the wife to enter into and to meddle with the private affairs of their lives, except with the intention of trying to bring rectification between them both.
أما التدخل بقصد الإفساد من حيث لا يشعرون فهذا فعل ملعون صاحبه كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم: لعن الله من خبب امرأة على زوجها يعني أفسد امرأة على زوجها.
As for either one of their family members meddling into the marriage with the intention of causing fasad, causing corruption between them, then no doubt this action and the one who does the action is cursed. And this is due to the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may Allah curse a person who causes dissension or corruption and makes the husband hatred towards the wife or vice versa.
وكذلك يستحق اللعن من خبب زوجا على زوجته.
And also a person who causes the husband to be hated by the wife is also deserving of curses.
والحياة الزوجية لا شك أنها تعتريها وتعترضها كثير من المشاكل، لأننا لا نعيش في الجنة التي لا مشاكل فيها، نعيش في الدنيا التي فيها كبد وفيها الهموم والغموم. ونحن كلنا كرجال ونساء كل منا يعلم أنه خطاء وأنه يقع في التقصير، وكذلك عليه أن يتذكر أن زوجته أيضا خطاءة وتقع في التقصير، فعليه أن يلتمس لها العذر وعليها أن تلتمس له العذر، وعليه أن يغض الطرف عن قصورها الذي يجده بمقابل ما عندها من خير وحسنات، وأن تغض الطرف هي كذلك عن القصور الذي عنده بمقابل ما تجده عنده من حسنات. وهذا الذي علمنا إياه المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم حين قال لا يفرك مؤمن مؤمنة إن سخط منها خلقا رضي لها آخر، يعني لا يبغض الزوج زوجته إن كره منها بعض الأخلاق، وهذا أمر طبيعي، لا يوجد إنسان كامل، فإنه يرضى لها أخلاقا أخرى كثيرة جدا.
No doubt marital life will face many problems and difficulties, and this is because we don't live in Jannah, rather we live in this dunya in which we face much striving, many struggles, many difficulties and worries and anxieties. And all of us, men and women, all of us, we are deficient and we sin and we err. Just as the husband is deficient and he sins and he errs and he makes mistakes, then also his wife also is deficient and she also sins and errs. And each one of the husband and the wife should make excuses for each other and find excuses for each other, and always think about the good traits and the good characteristics and the good actions and the good behaviors of each other. So just as the wife should try to ignore some of his deficiencies and instead focus on the good actions and his good behaviors, similarly the husband should try to ignore and overlook some of her deficiencies and her mistakes and think about and appreciate the good actions which she has. And this is what Al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this is what he taught us with regards to marital life. He said sallallahu alayhi wasallam, a believing man should not despise and hate a believing woman due to some deficiencies and mistakes. Meaning, it is not allowed for a husband to despise and hate his wife for some bad traits. He said sallallahu alayhi wasallam, if he dislikes some of her bad traits, there will be many other good qualities which will be pleasing to him. And so these deficiencies and these traits, they are a part of our nature, and nobody amongst us is perfect. So instead of focusing on those bad traits, the Prophet ﷺ told us to focus on the good traits and the goodness which is found in her.
وهنا لا بد أن ننبه على أخطاء بعض الأمهات القاتلة. لا بد أن ننبه على أخطاء بعض الأمهات الفادحة. أنا سأختار لك الكلمة لتعينك على الترجمة. من ذلك أن أم الابن، أم الزوج، تشعر بالغيرة من زوجة ابنها، لأن هذا الابن الذي ربته وأنشأته وتعبت عليه يأتيها شعور، يأتيها إحساس بأن هذه الزوجة قد أخذته منها، فيبدأ الشيطان يتسلط عليها ويحرضها على زوجة ابنها ويؤزها أزا حتى تخلق المشاكل من أتفه الأمور، من أبسط الأشياء، ويؤدي ذلك إلى تعكر وانقلاب الحياة الزوجية بالنسبة للابن حتى تصبح جحيما، ثم يؤدي ذلك إلى الطلاق، ويخسر هذا الابن كل ما دفعه من تكاليف. وهي الأم ربما تقول بكل سهولة: دعها، طلقها، أزوجك أفضل منها من النساء، آلاف النساء. ثم تبدأ المشكلة، يتزوج وتتدخل الأم ويطلق، ويتزوج وتتدخل الأم ويطلق. لا يرتاح إلا إذا هدى الله الأم وكفت عن تدخلها في حياة ابنها المتزوج. وما قيل من الأخطاء في حق أم الزوج يقال كذلك في حق أم الزوجة، خصوصا إذا كانت أم الزوج أو أم الزوجة تصغي لكلام الناس، تصغي لكلام النساء. زوجة ابنكم مدللة، زوجة ابنكم فيها كذا وكذا، وتؤزها شياطين الإنس حتى تشحن وتجعل هذه الأم حاقدة على زوجة ابنها، أو أم الزوجة تحقد على زوج ابنتها، ثم تبدأ هذه الأم وتشرك في هذه العداوة أخوات الزوج بناتها أو أخوات الزوجة بناتها، ثم يتوسع الأمر إلى أن تتعكر الأمور. وللعلم يا إخواني، الأم الصالحة هي التي تدعو لابنها بالتوفيق، وتدعو لابنتها بالتوفيق، وتصبر ابنها وتصبر بنتها. إذا جاء يشتكي تقول له: اصبر يا بني وتحمل، هذه هي الحياة، يا بنتي اصبري وتحملي، زوجك رجل صالح وفيه خير، ولا أحد يسلم من التقصير والخطأ. هذا الواجب الشرعي. وإذا كان الإصلاح بين المتخاصمين المسلمين يجوز فيه الكذب، فالإصلاح بين الزوجين الكذب فيه بقصد الإصلاح من باب أولى. ولن يكون هناك إصلاح إلا إذا كانت نية الأم والأم الأخرى صالحة، يريد إصلاح، كما قال تعالى: يريد إصلاح يوفق الله بينهما، يعني بين الزوجين. إذا كان الحكم من أهله والحكم من أهلها إن يريد إصلاحا، عندهم نية صادقة، يوفق الله بينهم. ولذلك كان عمر رضي الله عنه وأرضاه إذا حكم رجلا من أهله ورجلا من أهلها ثم لم يحصل الإصلاح بين الزوجين كان يعاقب الحكمين. وجاء في روايات أنه كان يضربهما لماذا؟ يقول لأن نيتكم سيئة لا تريد الإصلاح. لو أردتم الإصلاح لحقق الله على أيديكم الإصلاح، كما قال تعالى: أن يريد إصلاحا يوفق الله بينهما. نعم شيخ.
And also I'd like to point out certain mistakes. And these are serious mistakes which occur from the mothers of their children, mother-in-laws. And that is that when sometimes ghayrah, protective jealousy, is overtaken, or it overtakes the mother-in-law, or it overtakes the mother with regards to her daughter-in-law. And this is because this mother who cultivated her son and brought her son up and took care of her son, all of a sudden she sees another woman, i.e. his wife, and it's as if his wife has taken her son away from her. And then this feeling of protective jealousy and this feeling of pride, this is then utilized by shaitan. And shaitan then meddles and incites this inside of her, such that she begins to make problems for her son and her daughter-in-law, to the extent that even the smallest of issues, even the most minor of issues, they are magnified and maximized by the mother with regards to her son and her daughter-in-law, the wife of her son. And she begins to meddle in their affairs. And then all of a sudden, the marital life of her son and his wife, it is turned upside down. And then it becomes difficult and unbearable for them both until divorce occurs. And then what happens? Her son loses out. Her son loses out in his marriage and in his wife. And even worse, when the mother starts saying to her son, just divorce her. I'll find you a better wife. And there are thousands of women out there who are looking for marriage, and I can find them for you. So what happens? The son begins to enter into this vicious cycle whereby he divorces his wife and then he marries another one, and then the mother begins to meddle into their affairs once again. And then he ends up divorcing her, and then he marries another woman, and then the mother meddles into their marriage once again, their marital affairs, and then he divorces her. And this carries on, and he is in this cycle of marrying and divorcing again and again. So in reality, the son, the husband, he will not find any type of relaxation or any type of success in his marriage until his mother stops meddling into his marital affair. And everything which has been said regarding the mother of the son, the husband, the same can be said with regards to mother of her daughter, the mother of the wife, with regards to her husband. And more so when the mother-in-law, she begins to listen to the speech of the people and the rumors and the gossip of people. And each one of them will make up things regarding their children and their partners. And then shayateen from amongst the humans and shayateen from amongst the jinns who are jealous and have malice and spite towards the couple, they also begin to enter and make rumors about your son is this and your daughter is this and he has married such and such and she has married such and such. And then these problems and this animosity, it is increased when the sisters get involved. The sisters of the husband or the sisters of the wife, they that get involved and they begin to meddle, and then this animosity and these problems, they increase and grow. And therefore, brothers and sisters, the righteous mother, the mother who is salihah, the mother who is righteous, firstly, she is the one who makes dua for the success of her son and her daughter. She is the one who makes dua for a successful marriage of her son or her daughter. Also, the righteous mother, she is the one who encourages her son or her daughter to be patient. So whenever her son or her daughter come to her with marital problems, she encourages them and says, look, be patient and tolerate be tolerant of some of these problems. And your husband is a righteous person, and nobody amongst us is safe from deficiencies and mistakes. Rather be patient with him and be tolerating of his deficiencies. And this is the obligation of the Sharia. The obligation of the Sharia upon the mother-in-law is to try to reconcile between the husband and the wife and not be the root cause of the problems. And if it is allowed for a person to tell a lie in order to reconcile between two people, then telling a lie to reconcile between a husband and a wife is even more permitted, is even more encouraged, further encouraged to reconcile between the husband and the wife. And when trying to make islah, when trying to rectify and reconcile between the husband and the wife, the righteous mother must have a sincere niyyah, a sincere intention. And this is what Allah subhanahu mentions in the Quran. He said, the meaning of which is that if you intend islah, meaning if you have a sincere intention for islah, then Allah will guide and give you success in bringing them together. So this islah and bringing them together and this tawfiq from Allah is only when the hakam has a righteous, sincere intention of making islah. And this is also mentioned from Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anh, that whenever he would face people with problems, marital problems, he would choose a representative from the family of the husband, and he would choose a representative from the family of the wife. And then he would send both of them forward in order to go rectify and reconcile between them both. And if they were unable to rectify between them both, he would blame them. And he would say, it's because you were not sincere in your intention. And perhaps he would rebuke them because they were not sincere in their intention. And he would say to them that had you been sincere in your intention, Allah would have given you the tawfiq to rectify between them both.
قد أكون أطلت قليلا في الإجابة، لكن لأهميتها يا إخواني لا بد أن نكمل بعد إذن الجميع. نعم شيخ.
And perhaps I am mentioning in detail the answer to this question. However, with the permission of the others, it's a very important issue and I'd like to answer further.
نقاط يسيرة وسأختم بإذن الله.
Just some brief points and then I will finish.
الإنسان يمر في حياته بتنقل من حياة إلى حياة ومن مرحلة إلى مرحلة. مثلا الانتقال من الدراسة الثانوية إلى الدراسة الجامعية هذه مرحلة انتقالية، والانتقال من الدراسة إلى العمل أيضا مرحلة انتقالية تتغير فيها حياة الإنسان. نعم.
The life of a person, it is phases, and a person moves from one phase to another phase, from one stage to another stage throughout his life. So for example, when a person advances from secondary school to university, this is a person moving from one stage and phase of his life to another phase in his life. And when a person graduates from his studies and moves into work and a career, then again this is moving from one phase to another phase. And each phase of his life is a different stage of his existence.
وأصعب مرحلة انتقالية هي مرحلة الانتقال من العزوبة إلى الزواج. قبل الزواج وبعد الزواج الحياة تختلف تماما.
And perhaps, or rather the most difficult transition, the most difficult change is when a person moves from the phase of being single to the phase of now being married. This transition between the two stages of a person's life, from before marriage to after marriage, is a great change and transition in his life.
الشاب بعد أن كان مسؤولا عن تصرفاته لوحده لا أحد يتدخل فيها، أصبح هناك من يشاركه في المسؤولية عن هذه التصرفات. والفتاة بعد أن كانت لا مسؤولية عليها ولا أحد يشاركها في تصرفاتها، أصبحت الآن شريكا حقيقيا ويشاركها الزوج مشاركة حقيقية في حياتها الخاصة.
And that young man who, when he was single, he was living a life in which he was in complete control over his decisions and his actions. And nobody had any say or responsibility with regards to his decisions and his actions. Now he has moved on to another phase, another stage, in which somebody does have a say in his decisions and his actions. And he's also responsible for somebody else. And that young sister, that young woman who was living a phase in her life when there was no responsibility upon her and nobody had a say regarding her decisions. Now she has a partner, a real partner. And this partner has a say and a judgment with regards to her decisions and her behaviors.
ولذلك أولى سنوات الزواج الأولى هي التي تكثر فيها المشاكل، لأن الزوج لم يعتد على هذه الحياة بعد، والزوجة لم تعتد على هذه الحياة بعد، ولأن تدخلات أهل الزوج وأهل الزوجة ستكثر في هذه المرحلة، لكنها ستقل حتى تندثر بالمرة بعد ذلك. ولذلك أوصي أبنائي وبنات الأزواج وفقهم الله لكل خير أن يصبروا في أولى سنوات الزواج، أن تصبر الزوجة على تدخلات أم الزوج، وأن يصبر الزوج على تدخلات أم الزوجة، لأنها فترة مؤقتة وستزول بإذن الله تعالى. أكتفي بهذا والله تعالى أعلم.
And the early stages, the early phases in a person's married life, this is when the majority of the problems occur. And this is because both the husband and the wife, they are not accustomed to the new sets of responsibilities and obligations and decision making. They are not accustomed to this new type of life. And then in the early stages of a person's marriage is when there is more involvement from the family members. The family members of the husband entering into their lives, and the family members of the wife also entering into their life. However, this early phase of problems and difficulties which have to be navigated, this will cease, soon it will cease, and then things will become easier. And this is why I admonish and I advise my sons and my daughters who are married to be patient. Have sabr, be patient in these early days. The wife should be patient with regards to her mother-in-law, the mother of her husband, and her sometimes meddling or entering into their marriage. And also the husband should show sabr with regards to the mother of his wife, his mother-in-law, entering into and meddling in some of their affairs. And they should know that this early phase in which there may be some misunderstandings or problems, this is a very short phase in their marriage. And soon, this short phase, it will come to an end.